What's good? We back. It's your boy CJ Goodfellas back with the Boston Clinic and more. Speaking on, AFC Championship game, we get to the NFC Championship game a little later today or tomorrow, perhaps Saturday at the latest. Jaguars, traveling Sunday to Foxborough to play New England Patriots. A lot of people say that you got to beat the refs, the Patriots, and the whole system just to beat them. And Jacksonville definitely has the defense to do it. Quarterback play is a little bit suspect. But, it should be an interesting game. New England defense stepped up versus Tennessee. They've been struggling, though, throughout the year. They've been one of the worst defenses. We know Belichick is able to make adjustments, but they're not indestructible. They're not a defense to be feared. They have some good players, some good matchups on the outside. They okay up front, but they can be dominated up front in the run game. And are they better than the Pittsburgh defense? I think so. Better than Buffalo defense? I don't know. Buffalo defense is pretty tough, and should be interesting. And a lot of people want to know how can Jacksonville beat New England. And let's talk about New England first. What New England going to have to do defensively is probably load the box and force Blake Bortles to beat you. And the thing about New England has a good secondary. They got good two corners in Butler and Gilmore, Chung, and McCourty in the back end. But thing about Jacksonville, when you're talking about pass catchers, is they have several of them. You don't know. If you put Butler and Gilmore on two, let's say they put them on D.D. Rushbrook and Cole, well, they got Hearns and Marquise Lee and Mercedes Lewis, and you got T.J. Yeldon coming out the backfield. So the Jaguars' offense is a little more complex than people giving it. I had a conversation with a guy that said, they don't have no pass catchers, especially without Allen Robinson. It's not true. They have several pass catchers that can step up at any given time. Watch the stats. Watch the number line. They can step up at any time. D.D. Rushbrook might have a good game. The Cole kid, the rookie, might have a good game who can stretch the field. Marquise Lee might have a good game. He can stretch the field. Allen Hearns is good underneath, and he can stretch the field. They have several receivers that can get it done. And then you got Mercedes Lewis, the old vet, that's hungry, who hasn't won. And on the defensive side, it's going to be difficult. Especially if they're not able to stop the run, which the Patriots are not really good against the run. And people say, oh, they look good last week. But Tennessee, let's be real. Their offense hasn't developed, and they was without their best back in DeMarco Murray. So this is going to be kind of a test for them. And Blake Bortles is just going to have to be game manager. He's going to take his couple. I think they got to take about 5, 6, 7 shots downfield. Hand the ball off. He's going to have to make some intermediate big throws. And, it's just going to be, pretty much basic for that offense. And for New England defense, they have to step up. Last week wasn't a true test, in my opinion. And this week might not be a true test on their defense. But I think with Jacksonville, if Fournette is healthy, Chris Ivory be active, T.J. Yeldon, I think you expect a lot of poundage. And I think they should be able to pound New England's defense up front. I think they're better up front than New England. And they got to assert that early. Play action, bootleg, some run pass options. I think put in some read option in there and put us a little bit of tricks. And, Blake Bortles going to be on point. A couple years ago, he was throwing that thing. They need to go back, this week and look at some of the tape when he was successful and the throws he was successful with down the field. And I know they don't want him to turn the ball over as much. But, let him be a little bit confident, and make some throws downfield. You never know that can happen. New England defense ain't that good. I'll be telling people that. If you're able to run the ball, keep running the ball. And the corners can't match up, because they spread the ball around New England. So whoever they throw, you just go to the other guy. So that's the thing about it. And New England on offense, it's basically, I think, establishing a run. Jacksonville hasn't been the greatest against the run. They one of the league's worst. But since adding Marcel Darius, they've been more stout against the run. But I think it's important, to balance it out. I think it's important for New England to run the ball early, establish the run, even if you give up a couple, you don't convert a couple third downs, run the ball two times a down and get them to try to fill the box and then going outside and picking them apart underneath. I think the run is going to be very, very key. And, they're going to try to get those matchups with James White and Deion Lewis on the outside. And they're going to try to get them running backs on receivers. I think Jacksonville going to be ready for that. They might play some flat coverages like cover 3, cover 2 a little bit. They might match up in man because Brady ain't a mobile quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see, and we'll talk about how Jacksonville will attack. But for Brady, I don't believe in that hand injury. So I think it's just establish the run and play off the run for the most part, and then pick them apart in the passing game, in my opinion. But for Jacksonville, we talked about offensively what they need to do. Defensively, I wouldn't put Ramsey on Gronk early. I would bracket Gronk with 2 players, maybe a linebacker, because they got linebackers like Miles Jack and Tevin Smith who can cover, and maybe I bracket them with a linebacker and a safety, and just take them way over the middle. And the thing about New England offense is people say, oh, they dink and dunk. How are they able to get these short passes? They put their receivers in positions not to get jammed off the line. They line them up in strange alignments off the line, and they eat. And they eat on the inside. They eat in those close routes. They get you in those drag routes where, they get a free release and you can't jam them. So it's going to be very important. And that's why I say you bracket Gronk. And the guys that that's going to get those short drag routes, you put Ramsey on those guys like that. Chris Hogan could be a factor in this game because he can stretch the field, but he ain't been right since the injury. That's somebody I will look at. But I keep Oboye probably on Brandon Cooks or Ramsey on. I'll look Oboye around. It depends. Maybe I put Oboye on Cooks and I let Ramsey handle. I let Ramsey handle the guys that's in the slot or the guys that's off the line that you can't bump, and try to jam them and bump them off the line. Maybe get a linebacker to hit them off the line in the 5-yard. It's going to have to be about the Jaguars, DBs, and linebackers disrupting the Patriots wide receivers. Because once they disrupt those routes and bump those routes, and they front four is actually able to get after the quarterback, and Brady won't have the time he did versus the Tennessee Titans. You guys see what I'm talking about. When they're able to just bump those routes off by a second or half a second, and Brady get the tap dance in the pocket, and Calais Campbell and Malik Jackson, the Fowler, and they can rush forward and get after Brady, and then that's the recipe to beat Tom Brady, in my opinion. And that's what they're going to have to do early and often. Disrupt the routes, and those short routes, you got to be on time because they ain't on time. They're going to be off. So I expect Jacksonville to do that. And, I want to see Jacksonville win. And I love Tom Brady. He's a Michigan guy. I'm a Michigan supporter. I want to see them win. I really do. But it's hard to go to Foxborough and win. I got the Patriots winning 24-13 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just think Brady's going to figure it out. But I like the Jacksonville matchup. I won't be surprised if Jacksonville won, but I'm going to pick Patriots. We gone.